So, hello friends, I am Dr. Madhavi Kankal. I am here today to share one of my PM salt case with you all. This is actually the 4 to 5 year back this patient came to me, and it was the same time when I was studying PM and I was trying to get into it. Uh, so this is one of my few cases which really helped me to uh, boost my confidence in doing this PM approach. And since then, I'm constantly improving on my prescription and needless to say on my own personal evolution too. So I'm really extending my sincere gratitude towards the Dr. Mahesh Gandhi sir. Um, I'm really, really thankful from the bottom of heart, sir. Thank you. So let's start today's case. Let me share my screen. Um, So yes, so this is a case of 16-year-old girl, a case of chronic rhinitis with severe headache and the acidity issue. Okay, so we could see that the symptoms are not that much uncommon, right? Sometimes it becomes again difficult to find out the remedy if symptoms are common because many remedy cover this kind of symptoms. So let's see how PM can help in such kind of cases. So it was a video consultation. Mother has given the input first. Doctor, she is not ready to start any medication, but I made her insist or I made her agree to speak to you for having a homeopathy. I am really worried, doctor. She is suffering a lot, but I cannot see in her pain. Little here and there in her food, she suffers a lot with acidity too. So I can see the high sensitivity. She might having a weak borders or very early development because little here and there she is affecting. So we are worried, doctor, and bothered also how much medication she need to take throughout her life. Her exams are also coming close, and her sufferings are too much. So now girl started giving the history. So I asked her, tell me what's happening, why you don't want to have medications. So yes, I'm not interested, doctor, in taking any medications now. Nothing suits me and I'm still suffering. I think this will not be getting better. I have accepted pains in my life. So I could see some kind of frustration and acceptance to the issue also. So it can come up her miasm of the case also. Let's see how case progress. But my sufferings are really unbearable. Already lot of medications, visited too many doctors, but nothing helps. So I have issues with sinusitis headache, head pains bother me a lot, and acidity troubles too. So everything is too much. So headaches frequently and really worst. Mostly summers are worst, but throughout the year it stays. My pains are really terrible, horrible, bursting pains, very severe pains, constantly stuffy feeling in the nose, but complaints are still okay, but headaches are again too much. So intensity she could feel, intensity she is feeling for her complaints is really, really bad. So she is talking about the acidity issue also. I am having a strong acidity, severe nausea and giddiness, vomiting sensation, but very rarely it happens. But if it happens, it helps me for the acidity including the headaches also. Also vertigo, giddiness so severe as if I will collapse. I may lose balance. There's too much weakness and blankness in front of my eyes too. So too much weakness. Even I cannot even stand firm. Then I feel like vertigo, heavy vertigo. So here, so she's not firmly grounded, right? She's not able to stand up on the ground also firmly. So it could be again the early development. So these were the parallel thoughts were going in my mind as the case was progressing. So few times I collapsed too, lost the balance, and I got aware when I come to conscious. So she's losing the consciousness also. Acidity may happen with or without headache. What else? That's it. So now my observations till now for her, Like her talk was very much to the point, as if each word is calculated earlier before she speaks. Very adult and balanced talk for her age. She was talking about very, very severe complaints, sufferings, but she was very calm and mild while talking to me. So, no aggressive talk. So, it was matured behavior for me, but of a very mild girl. So, headache. I even cannot hold book in front of me for the study. It's a horrible pain. Sometimes I just lock the room. Now see what she's doing in the pen. She's just locking the room inside and scream as it's so unbearable to her. I'm crying and shout loud with the pen. I can't shout loudly as doors are closed. Oh, are you locking yourself? Why so? I don't want to create any scene out of my pens. Noise shouldn't go out. No one should disturb. So this is her adult way of coping the suffering. Though it is so unbearable, so and she doesn't need attention. So brain doesn't respond as if some barrier. So this was the experience of her um, pain. So really bad. My exams are on the corner. My brain just don't respond in the pens as if some barrier there. Brain stop working because of this. I want to study, but I cannot. So only bare pen and that's it. Nothing in my hand. But I'm really worried about my exams. Papa says you should learn to deal with it and not to cry like a small child, but I cannot. So, in a way, she was like a very small child who cannot take sufferings. There are many aspects we are able to see now in her. So, my life is affecting, it should go away. I cannot deal with it, I cannot tolerate. But I have accepted it now. I am suffering so many years and no solutions. I have to bear it with throughout my life. I have to live with it. So that's why I don't want to go any doctor. So this was something peculiar which came directly from her without asking any questions. So this became an important part for me for the remedy prescription too. So she said, I want to talk about my menstrual period also. Uh, those are the heavy clots, very large clots and very dark in color. Her puberty was at the age of the 13. So what is her life space? So we live four in the home, my younger brother and my parents. My mother is from very well-to-do family, from city background, very relaxed and I can say very pampered childhood. No life struggle, single sister for the three brothers. She is teacher by profession now. My papa, he is very from poor family, village background, completed study with a lot of struggle. His childhood was struggle for his daily bread and butter too. Now also he is a single bread earner for his family. Three sisters, father and mother. He did help his sister getting married too. Very much attentive to his family. Now she is talking about father and mother relationship. So their relationship is also always tense. It is also big stress to me. She is irritable and angry and always been complaining about his approach, his caring, his doing about his family emotionally, physically, financially. So lot of clashes at home since childhood. I'm seeing it and it bothers me a lot. Both came from the different background. Now see her way of approach towards the behavior that she's feeling that they both come from the different background, different upbringing. Everybody is correct at their own place. They should understand each other. No one is correct, no one is wrong. Their attitude, priority towards life is completely different. So I could feel she can recognize difference between their behavior, attitude, upbringing, and she is able to accept them as they are. She's not complaining about them. So she's just telling about the things like she's not able to take it. He gets involved in his family more, which is too obvious. She doesn't like it. Poverty has a major effect in his life. He is very simple living and grounded man or ground to earth. So my question is, why she doesn't accept Papa as he is? Now, this was very interesting. We know this complicated world is not that name. We do expect everything from each other, and never runs on the world never runs on the idealism. But her question was so naive and so simple, and it was based on the idealistic approach. So it was also very interesting. Now she keeps shouting. Papa doesn't answer to her. He keeps just calm or go away from home for the hours when he needs his space. I feel they should understand each other. So it's so hurting and stressful to me. Both are close to me. They are my family. They both share their views, concern, inner feeling with me. This is okay as they have a trust in me. But the thing is, and they feel I can help them also. They feel safe to talk to me. I say, yes, I keep things to me. I don't disclose with each other. I feel we should keep respect of their views. So mature behavior it was. I try to keep as much as happy atmosphere at home. So she was needing a happy atmosphere at home. But it is so stressful for me, very bad toll on me. No one understands me, my stress. I am not able to handle it. It is really overwhelming me. So she is a very mild, cannot handle stress. She could be a weaker personality. I like both of them. They are my family. I can understand both of them and their feelings, but I don't know how to balance the situation. So this was her main issue. I don't have, she wanted to handle, and they are sharing with her because of her capacity to understand them. But the thing is, she wanted to do, but she is not able to do because of her incapability. I don't have too much of friends to share with mother. I can be free more, but this I cannot share with her. She is irritable towards me too. She takes always objection whatever I am doing, wearing clothes, way of studying. Now the thing is, what I observed for her also, she was literally into the two chotis with lot of oil on the hair and so simple attire. So it was also interesting to see her because nowadays at the standard of fifth and sixth, boys and girls are having the boyfriends, girlfriends. They know how to carry their lifestyle. But this girl is so simple and so naive and so simple lifestyle, so naive she was. Uh, so so this was also my observation, and it was also a point to be noted for me. She says I'm very orthodox, old fashioned, and she was. And is always nagging, takes me in a wrong way. She doesn't understand. I cannot carry. I don't like it too. So how it bothers to you? Hurts me a lot. I like to be simple. I am not into fashion and trends. But she feels today's world will not accept this living, but I am not comfortable into it. So she cannot be a part of this fashionable or this complicated world. So sensitivity towards the parents' expectations also. I feel my parents' behavior is also changed a lot towards me since I appeared into the 10th standard. They have a marks demand, expectations from me. It was never there before. I feel insecure towards their attitude. Now we never know, we don't know whether parents are expecting too much because it is very general trend and it is very common phenomenon in day-to-day house. Uh, we since the 10th standard is important part of their life, but this girl is taking it too much as if they are completely changed their behavior towards her. So I may get scolding. It is as if punishment for me. So she's so sensitive to the punishment, little change in the behavior of the parents towards her also. So her basic nature, my ambition is to get into the good college. I feel I should have a side career, drawing, painting, singing. I like it. It is my hobby too. So it is as if like a it was like a she was into artistic approach. So it can be a one thought at that moment in my mind was it can be a plant kingdom, not every time, but since the plant kingdom carrying the water and the air elements strongly into it, so the many of plant kingdom remedies having the artistic approach strongly or more. So always this is one of the thought, but not always true. Not always it comes true. So I have interest in the political subject discussions. Want to do social work. Baba Amte is my idol. So Baba Amte is a big name into the Indian social. He's a Indian social activities, and it's a big name into the India. Uh, he worked for the leprosy tribal people, so wants to work for the beggars, their children education. They need to bring in the common flow to develop their life. It's so sad to see they suffer. See her sensitivity towards the beggar, and she want to do something for them. So child labor affects me a lot. So this is again very adult and mature behavior. So now this was a case. So now when we talk about the PMM analysis, so always few questions arises in our mind when we get over the case. So who is this person? What person we are talking about? How to understand this person? What is the person's main issue of the life, and where in that issue where he got stuck? Since her complaints are very common, like a sinusitis, headache, and acidity, we do hear this kind of the complaints in our day-to-day practice life. It's not very uncommon, and many remedies from the mathematica cover this kind of the symptoms. But now, where our patient fits in, so where to fit in our patient, so we need to map her inner age. So what we have learned about her, so she is a very naive, idealistic. World is very ideal for her. So happy, no expectations from the others, and the happy world for her. So her definition of the world is to be in a happy world. So sensitive, her heavy sensitivity towards the pain, scolding, punishment, a little disturbed atmosphere at home, a change attitude of parents towards her, the heavy heavy pains. Uh, she is not the for the pains also. We don't know the what level those pains are severe, but her sensitivity towards the pain is too severe. So world cannot or should not be harsh. Everyone should understand each other. Very spiritual way of thinking. It's a very high quality. So generally, these early development people, they are very easy to connect that spiritual world, and they because they are so naive, they don't understand the language of the complicated world. And like our patient was very simple living, orthodox living, as if she is not from this era. So our patient is from the first subclass, very early development, or could be light first subclass development from the mineral or animal kingdom. Let's see what's come up. So if we consider our patient is from the first subclass, what is there into the first subclass? It is a diploid flowering plant chart and the first column. So as if they come to this world, very new to this world, not yet ready to the harshness of the world, very genuine approach to the life, very simple living, cannot get along the flashy life, rather I will say cannot get along the complicated life, overwhelmed by the minor tasks, minor hurts. They are not made yet to that much stronger uh, to carry the load of the heavy task. So little task also they get overwhelmed. So sensitive, everything goes in, like our patients. The hurts are going in, pains are going in, like a thin skin, no borders. Each pain, emotional, physical, is so unbearable and harsh to them. So another trait we have seen her, like a maturity, like a I explained you earlier, whenever it is that point came. So matured, like a precocious type, way of suffering also. She closes the door so that no one should disturb out of her situation. She doesn't want to create any sin. That means she is able to take the responsibility of her suffering, right? So though she is not able to take, but she tried to take the. She is not able to take the suffering, but definitely she is trying to take the responsibility of that sufferings. She is trying to handle of her own. This is also very mature behavior. The parents talk to her for their issues as if she's a elder person of house. Was my feeling. How many houses we see like this situation that parents are talking their issue to her, right? Very calm and composed talk, very apt way of talking, very responsible, wants to work for the beggars. Idol is the Baba Amte. Very so she is from the late adult stage, like the age of the responsibility and the age of the giving to the society. So now if we talk about the kingdom, very sensitive lady, hurt for every pain and sufferings. Hurt is the only sentence, the only word what is coming out of every suffering. That only hurt and hurt. And I cannot take it. That's it. Unbearable sufferings. So there is no me versus you. So animal is ruled out. There is no lacking feeling. So mineral kingdom is ruled out. Sufferings and sensitivity to the suffering. Only the whole case was around, so which brings us to the plant kingdom. So, as I already mentioned, the first subclass, late adult, and some glimpses of the old age also I could see that she was talking out of so much frustration, so much despair. So this could be a stage of the old age or leper state. So we can see, if we see all these calculations, we come to the papaveral. If we see, if so, this is according to the PEM approach. If we see, want to map her complaints like a vertigo as if she collapsed or even she collapses also. So for me, once collapse is a lose consciousness. It's like a coma for the few seconds at least. So pain versus painlessness. One side she is into too much pain, and the other side she goes into the painlessness. Now, second thing is brain stops working. No barrier between the brain is also her feeling, as if brain cuts the connection to the pain and the sufferings, brings the barrier between the pains and the her. Her high intolerable, violent and intense suffering, great sensitivity to the pains. This is the sensation of the Papaveracea family. If we see the plant chart from the PEM analysis, this is the first subclass, and these are the ages like womb, infancy, toddler, school age. Like we come down, here's the young adult, and in the young adult, what I'm trying to talk is the what family is situated here is the papaverallus, and the to my miss what I want to say here is young adult, mature adult, and old age. Only one single family is here, that is a papaverallus. That means our patient, in some cases, the patient may show a strong stage of the adult, young adult, or the mature. Some patient may show the strong stage of the mature adult. Some cases we might see the uh, old age also, or in some cases we might see the combination of these three ages. So, papaverals, young adult, late adult, old age of the first subclass. And our patient showed a late adulthood stage strongly. So in if papaverse family, if you want to give some medicine, if you want to select the medicines, which medicines we should select, it is the it shows it's depend on the miasm what she showed, like acceptance of the complaint and the avoidance of the to start the new medications. So it is a psychotic miasm. The remedy is prescribed sanguinaria canadensis. So the 201 m doses been given 2 days each. First 2 months, every 15 days doses been repeated. Then monthly once been given. And in SOS, as SOS doses also in the pen, it the potency depend on the level of her complaint, either 200 or 1 m. The first 2 months, 70% improvement. Headaches used to be there, but lesser intensity and frequency. Nose discharge started, which was a big relief. Acidity improved equally, no collapse for the single time. In the span of 4 to 5 months, she was almost 90% better. Doses reduced accordingly. Some doses of 12 plenum 200 and sulfur, maybe 1 or 2 doses been given as an intercurrent remedy. It also helps. So this is always my habit. If I try to get case through the repertoire totality also, it helps me to um, cross check, because PM is all about nothing to be ignored, everything is included under the PM evolution model. That remedy should scream out from each and every point of view. That though if we get a chance from the repertoire totality also, that the remedy should match. So I have taken some symptoms: vertigo, nausea with vertigo, fall tendency to aggravation, summer scene, and then bursting headache, catarrhal headache, headache violent, the headache maddening and intolerable, and the shrieking, screaming, shouting headache during only 34 remedies, and this was very uh, prominent in her. And to my surprise, the sanguinaria is one of the medicines uh, which is covering all the totality. There are other medicines also like a belladonna, bryonia, arsenic, sepia. These are also covering with more total of the marks, but we know belladonna is from the sixth subclass, bryonia is from the infancy fourth subclass, arsenic is from the mineral kingdom, that too from the fourth row, calcarea line, and the sepia is from the animal kingdom. So it was easy for me to rule out all those remedies. Though menstrual symptom was not her complaint, but I was trying to see whether, because that symptom came directly from her, that information came directly from the her. So I wanted to check whether the those things can be covered by the sanguinaria or not. So female menses clotted, coagulated, large, and the menses clotted, coagulated, dark. So there are say 8 9 remedies which is covering this totality, and to my surprise, sanguinary is also covering this. If we see the Papaveracea family through the Sankaran schema, so sensations, active reactions, passive reactions, and compensations, we could see that intense pain, what our patient was covering, intense pain, torture, intense suffering, as if mm, punish, uh, as if she gets like a punished feeling, then violence of the violent complaint, and the agony and hell like the state. Then again the active reactions, the fainting was there, and then painlessness and numb, and her calm, like she was very compensated for me. She was a very compensated child. She she was handling situations as much as calmness type of mental state. like she very calm and mild way of talking, the peaceful. So she was into the state like not to be affected by the any sufferings. So this was my case. I hope through my case you get some glimpse of the personal evolution model, and it is really helping me um, in my practice immensely, and I am quite sure it will help you to all of you. So thank you.